Now here is Mr. Wiley Brooks, who stopped eating 17 years ago, claiming that all the elements we need to survive are in the air and an occasional glass of fruit juice. This is called breatharianism.
Breatharianism is a philosophy that believes that the human body, when it's in perfect harmony with itself and nature, is a perfect breatharian. Now, all of the constituents that we need is taken from the air we breathe. And the fact is, there is only one thing that keeps the human body alive, and that is breathing. The food that we take is the same as any other thing we take into the body, as it becomes a habit. In other words, eating is an acquired habit, just like drinking alcohol or smoking cigarettes.
Mm-hmm. Well, does that mean that when a baby is born, you don't have to give it anything to eat, no milk or anything?
No, that would only work if the mother was a breatharian. Because we don't come into the world as breatharians from mothers that are breatharian, before we even get started, our blood is poisoned. You see, we already start at a disadvantage when we're born. So because of that, a person needs to be an adult, and that's why I don't even lecture people who are young about being a breatharian. First, you must kick the habit of eating. So,
do you breathe, do a lot of deep breathing and things to get the whatever is in the air that's good for you into your system?
No, I don't have to do that. And one of the reasons why I was insistent on finding out how the body worked is because I had always heard that the human body was created by the Creator in perfection. And obviously, if something is created perfect, there's nothing you can do to it but make it less perfect. And that's exactly what man has done. The body was created perfect. It needed nothing but the breath of life, which comes from the creative source, God or universal intelligence or whatever name you want to put on it. In that state, man was perfect, and all that we have done to it is that we have taken it from that perfect state to a lower point of consciousness. And that is why our environments and everything that is in our lives are where they are, because of the quality of our blood.
I've got to ask you this one on the air. And you're asked it all the time.
Right.
We read that the hunger strikers in Belfast died.
Right.
You're living. What's the difference? What's the difference?
The difference is, very importantly, they wanted to die. And I get this in my lectures all the time, and people do not realize there is a big difference in a man stopping to eat who's trying to kill himself and a person who's not eating because he's trying to improve his health. You see? That is the difference. Health is the thing here. Breatharianism just happens to be a word that seems to be new, but it's been around as long as man has been here. But man has a choice of eating or not eating. I am not against eating, and one of the things I'd like to point out right away is I don't recommend fasting. Now, I know everybody thinks they should run out and stop eating, and I don't recommend that, because that is not the way to do it. The body has to adjust gradually and retrace itself back to the original state of health, which was breatharianism.
Do you ever, I guess you don't get hungry anymore.
No,
when you walk on the streets and smell things being cooked, you
doesn't mean a thing, and I can tell you why. It's very simple. If we have an automobile, we have a gauge on it that says empty and full. If the automobile is full of gas, is there any need to put any more in it?
No.
So the meter says full. Same thing with me.
Your meter's full.
The appetite says one thing. That's right. The appetite says one thing. Your body is lacking energy to keep it balanced properly. Now, when you have satisfied that balance in your system by whatever method you might use, the body has no appetite. So there's no reason to eat.
My interest has been for many years longevity, why people die. That was basically the quest I was born with. And I was also born with another strange thing compared to normal people. I didn't like to eat. I absolutely didn't like to eat. I didn't understand why people ate. I don't know where it came from, but it was the way it was. As you become more healthy, more energy flows through the system, then you become more sensitive. So at my stage of the game, I've been doing this for years, I got to the point where my energy was so high, one, I can't live with anybody. As you can see, my nearest neighbor is several miles away. Now, I'm not here because I like to be alone. It's just that I can't live with anybody. I'm 67 years old, and I've been gazing in the sun for a long time. I own recording studios, and I recorded people like Led Zeppelin, Iron Butterfly, and Jimi Hendrix are some of my clients. Around the time I was working with Jimi Hendrix in New York is really the time I got really inspired, because when he passed away, as many of my clients did, I just became obsessed with the idea of finding out why we die. And so as I looked around, I noticed most of the people that actually had any knowledge about this type of thing always fasted. So I decided to try fasting to see what would happen. And sure enough, the first fast I did, which was about 10 days, I ended up having 10 times more energy. I happened to be living at the time on Muscle Beach in California, where the bodybuilders work out, and I decided one day to go out and see if I could lift any weight. So I went out to the weightlifting pin, and I started putting on the weights, and the first time I was out, I noticed as I put the plates on, the weights got lighter. So the very first time I walked into the weightlifting pin, I ended up with 800 pounds on the bar. At the time, we had Arnold Schwarzenegger, Mr. T, a lot of the other, professional bodybuilders, and to them, I was sort of like a joke because I'm a little skinny guy lifting all that weight. But when I started lifting 1,100 pounds of weight, I started to get a little attention. Before I fasted, I couldn't lift probably 50 pounds. I never even tried to. So then I had a whole new direction to look in, because now I needed to find out why it is I eat less, and suddenly, without any other disciplines, I'm 10 times stronger. We eat because we don't have enough energy. But what happens when you're in the sun, which is a natural energy for all living things, right? When you have enough sun, then the energy in the body rises to the point where you don't have an appetite, so there's no need to eat. That doesn't mean I have not been eating for 30 years. My purpose for eating is to lower my frequencies, not to increase it. It's almost like, for me, it's necessary to not be too healthy, because otherwise I wouldn't be able to go out and be anywhere. I might want to pull it a little more, maybe. We want to use the smaller 45.
Well, we're going to put a whole bunch on there.
Yeah, you put more weight. But you want to put, well, I don't know, about 1,000. No. Are you kidding?
Well, we'll see what we do.
Let's see what we can do. If I can lift the bar, I'll be happy. And I did lift the bar.
How many hours do you sleep a week, Wiley?
Well, I normally sleep 1 to 7 hours a week. And I mean, some nights I sleep 1 hour, some nights I sleep a little more.
What do you do with all that time?
Well, that's the thing. I hate to admit it, but I get a little bored once in a while. No, you're not supposed to if you're spiritually enhanced. Fasting is basically a belief system. I mean, whether one eats or not is a belief system, without a doubt. I discovered that is the belief system that controls our lives. For example, ask anybody, what do you think would happen if you don't have any food? Right off the bat, they say, I will die. But I never warm up, I never exercise, so I should just warm up a tiny bit. Oh man.
Want to go walk on the treadmill a little bit?
I lifted 500 pounds of weight to demonstrate that the lifting of the weight basically has to do with the amount of energy that flows through the system. At my age, even I can still lift, at least 500 or 600 pounds. So that was the demonstration. And I also learned that I probably should exercise a little more.